Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to the Trover's Kingdom. This is another beautiful episode with you. And guess what? Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 biggest countries in the entire world. Well, most of you know that some countries are huge, big compared to other countries. And in our today's session, I will let you know the biggest countries, 10 biggest countries, their size, and their GDP. Their GDP, I mean, that is the gross domestic product. GDP, which is the gross domestic product. So, first off, let's start with Russia. Russia is the biggest country in the world and it has 17,998,242 square kilometers. Do you get it? It's it's a half of Africa because around 30 million, 31 probably is the size of Africa, whole Africa. So whereas China is 17, A, 98,242. So it's the biggest country in the world. Now, next country. But before we go to the next country, I want to remind you that Russia is located in Northern Asia and Eastern Europe. Northern Asia and Eastern Europe. Now the people of Russia speak, their official language is Russian. Russia. So, you want to know the GDP of Russia? The GDP of Russia is $2.06 trillion. You get it? And the area covered by water in a kilometer square is around 721,380. So the next country, as I said, is Canada. Canada is the second largest country in the world. Second largest country in the world. And its size is 9,900,884 and 670. The size of Canada is 9,984,000 and 670. That is the size of Canada, and it is located in North America. The Russian people speak French and English. No, not the Russian. Yes, it's Canadian. So, we are going to its GDP. The GDP of Canada is around 2.24 trillion US dollars. 2.24 trillion US dollars. With the population of over 39 million. Plus Russia, it has 144 million plus. Okay, so the next country is China. China is also the third largest country in the world with the size of 9,596,960 square kilometers. And it is located in the Eastern Asia. They use Mandarin. Mandarin is their language. And the GDP of China is around 18 trillion. 18.53 trillion US dollars. It's huge, right? I think the US is the first with the highest GDP of around 28 trillion. So which means China is the second largest economy in the world. Yes. So when you look at the population of China, it is around 1 billion 405,306,922. That is the population of China. The next up we have another country named United States. United States is the fourth largest country in the world with 9,525,067 square kilometer, which is located in the North America, and the official language is English. Of course, it's American English. So, the fifth, but before we move on to the fifth, we have to say what's the current GDP of United States. The current GDP of United States is around 28.78 trillion dollars. When you compare it with the Chinese GDP, there's a difference of over 10 trillion. That is a huge economy. There's no way China will never ever become the top most largest economy in terms of GDP, because China does not invent new stuff. China takes innovations and replicates them into their own most customized innovations. So, in other words, when you try to see who are the biggest innovator, biggest creators, you find out that it's the United States. China always knows how to copy, and it is the best at copying, because they not only copy, but they use that knowledge that was used to create anything to create similar and most advanced whatever they want to do. So that is it. Yes, the area that is covered by water in the United States is around 377,424 square kilometer. That is a big place, That is a big place because the area covered by water in the United States is very, very large compared to most of the countries. Some countries are just on the 29 square kilometers, they are on 30,000, 29,000 and 30,000 square kilometers. So when you hear that America has a large land covered by water of over 300,000 square kilometers, it's a big, big, big place covered by water. So without wasting much time, let's move on to of course, that is the fifth country. We have Brazil. Brazil has 8,510,346. That is the size of Brazil, square kilometers. And it is in South America, of course. They speak Portuguese. Isn't that interesting? They speak Portuguese and they are from Brazil. Next up, but before we go to the next, we have to see what is the GDP of Brazil. Around 2 point. The GDP of Brazil is around 2.33 trillion US dollars. And the population is around 217,315,278 people. That is the total population of the Brazilian people, and the area covered by water is around 55,000. (352) square kilometers. That is also big. So when we look at the next country, which is Australia, which is like a unique country because it is located on just in a land that is a bit like different from other lands, just somewhere there in, say it's like a big island. So Australia is a beautiful country with over 7,741 and 2020 220 square kilometers. That is the size of Australia. And of course they speak English, and their population is around, the population of Australia is around 26,630,775 people. And the GDP is around 1.79. You see, area of the land does not indicate the GDP. Sometimes country may be smaller with a large GDP. The country may be huge with a smaller GDP. You have seen it where Russia has around 2.06 trillion US dollars, whereby the United States has 28 trillion dollars. So you can just understand if the size indicated the GDP, you understand how big America would be. Isn't that concerning? Well, next country, we are from the country called Australia. We are heading to India with 3,207,263 square kilometers. That's the size of India. And of course, they speak Hindi and English. South Central Asia, that's where they are situated. And this country has a GDP of around $3.94 trillion. This is cool because I think it is the third largest economy. Third largest economy. Yeah, it is the third largest economy because the first largest economy is the United States, second is Russia, and third, by now, it's India with $3.94 trillion. So, next up, we have Argentina. Yes, Argentina with 2,780,780 and 400. 2,780,000 and 400. That is Argentina. The size of Argentina is 2,780,400 square kilometers. So, in Argentina, they speak Spanish. Isn't it interesting? So Argentina's GDP is at 0.6 trillion US dollars, and the population is around 45,982,530. That's the population of Argentina. So the next country is Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is also among the largest countries with the size of 2,724,910 square kilometers. And it is located in South Central Asia. Their languages are basically Kazakh and Russian. So their economy or their GDP is around $0.29 trillion. So, and their population is 19,000,000 768,986. That is the population of Kazakhstan, and the area covered by water is around 25,202 square kilometers. That is huge also. Yeah, it's huge. So, by the way, it's huge. It's huge for sure. And the last but not least is a surprising country from Africa. This country is from North Africa. It has 2,301,741 square kilometers. It's 2,381,741 square kilometers. Located in North Africa, they speak Arabic and Berber. That is their language. And on the other hand, when we try to look at the GDP, we can see that the GDP of Algeria is $0.26 trillion, with the population of 46,098,328. So it's very, very concerning that Nigeria has 0 place. Algeria has 0 place covered by water. 0 place covered by water. It is very, 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 very concerning. So that was it for today. Thank you so much for staying with us. We love you and appreciate your time. You took to watch all our from the beginning up to now. We wish you to continue watching our videos, share it with your family and friends. Yeah, stay